The same or no? We will see. Fellow tennis nerds, these rackets, we have talked about them recently before. Thanks for the response. So many questions. We're gonna try to answer those questions in a later video because there are too many. But one key question that came up is this racket, the Python prototype that became the red line, that became the Defyer, is this the same as this? And we have the answer, we think, today, at least our personal answer. I'm here with Henrik and Willie. We're hitting. So what are you guys playing? I have to ask you about your rackets. Now Henrik is holding a red line 98, which is also called Defyer. Yes, sorry, Wilson.
I'm not playing with the Defyer, I'm playing with the Pythons.
Yes, we see it. So I'm gonna pick up Willie's racket from here. We have a bunch of rackets. And here we have one of his. He has one strung with Vamos, which I approve of, but not sure he likes it. But anyway, this is what's confidential. So what is the spec here? What are you, like, this is a foam-filled Python that you're using?
It's a foam-filled, around 320 grams unstrung.
Jesus.
So pretty heavy. Solinco Confidential soft.
So if we start, Henrik, with the 98, which you really like in the retail version, how did they compare, you think?
I really like the retail version of the 98. With some lead, swing weight of 325 strung, plays really good. It reminds me control-wise of the RF01.
Yeah.
I really like that racket as well and used it as my main racket for a short while. But you have the same control. It's very fast to swing. It rips through the air very fast. And in lower tension, this is strung with the new Luxelon prototype red string. Strung at 20 kilos. I think that's 44. Yeah, 44 pounds.
I think.
It plays beautiful, and you can string it even lower because it feels like, with this red string, it feels like 22 or something, but it opens up the sweet spot a lot. So you get good power, you get good spin. It's easy to use, but you get confident because you have such a good control. So you can hit through the ball.
Yes.
And you don't get passive. You want to hit, like generate racket head speed and hit. So in the retail version, this is a winner for me, at least. I really like it.
I think it's like a more spin friendly. If we talk about the string, we got some questions about that one. We don't know when it's going to be out. It was supposed to be out alongside the racket, so maybe it's in a few weeks when the pre-sale period is over. These pre-sales I'm not a huge fan of, but this is what we have. Hopefully that will be out because it's like a six-sided, very smooth six-sided. Doesn't really feel six-sided, but it said it on the box. Kind of mix between 4G and Olo Power. It has a bit more snapback like Olo Power, but it is that kind of dead feel of 4G where you can string that low. So like 20 kilos, 44 pounds feels like it's higher. So that allows you to have a bit more pocketing, which I think is great. So I think the string and this racket works supremely well together. Yeah. And I think it's great that the racket manufacturers, when they bring a new string, really work together with a racket so that they kind of blend well together. It makes our life as playtester much easier. So, like Henrik said, he's a big fan of the retail. We both played our best tennis with the retail 98. The Pro Stock, or the Python, or whatever you want to call it, this one that you all prefer, not all of you, but many of you prefer in the black cosmetic. This one is a bit more difficult to use. The sweet spot is definitely smaller than the retail. It's not quite as plush. It's a bit of a crisper feel. Outside hits get more punished. And I feel like this needs more weight than the retail one does. The retail is a little bit more stable. It's a nice playing racket. I do enjoy it. Does it hold a candle to the Pro Stock? Grip shape feels a bit different. So I think for most of you, the retail, although it's very, very small change, but we did feel like there's a difference. And I feel like this one is really a Pro Stock, a pro playing racket. But we're not pros, so we prefer a racket that is easier to use. It has a bit more easier and forgiving sweet spot. So the 98 out of all these four rackets, meaning 100 retail, 100 Pro Stock, 98 Pro Stock and 98 retail, this was our favorite.
Yes.
By some margin, I would say.
Margin
and we
well,
both played our best tennis with that one. So the 98, if you're like obsessed with this cosmetic, which I know many of you are, you're going to have to pay a bit more for this, obviously, and it's going to be tougher to find. And it's going to be a more demanding racket, but maybe you're going to be at 1% more precise. But for us, I felt like the 98 retail. When it comes to the 100, Henrik, what was the verdict there?
The 100, the retail version is very plush. It's very damp and muted. Yep. It feels a bit like, if you know the Clash 100, the Ultra 100. Yeah, it's very
flexible and dampened.
You don't really, if you hit here or here, you don't really feel any difference. No. And it has, it reminds me a bit of those
Yes,
two.
it has that kind of DNA. And
Yeah.
I think it is the layup. Wilson has this in many rackets now, the SI3D. It's a technology name that they made up for the new layup. And the layup is creates a kind of a very generous sweet spot, which is nice, but it's also tough to know exactly where you hit the ball. So I think on a 98, that's a bit more easy to understand or work with, because in 100 it can lead to some flyers. And I think we both had some moments where this ball, we didn't really know where we hit it in the string bed, and then we didn't really know where the result was going to be either. That was the problem.
But when you take the 100 Pro Stock version or Pro version,
Yeah.
the black version, that one was more crisp in a good way. That
Yes.
one felt more like sort of a pure drive.
Yeah.
Ish,
It's a
something like
crisper
that.
feel. It's a
Yeah.
little bit crisper. It's a bit more punishing. But when you have 100, you have a naturally more sweet spot to work with. So outside hits are not going to be as common, hopefully. And then it's fine to have a slightly smaller sweet spot on the 100. And I thought that had a bit more of a true feel. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I hit it there, it's going there. It was more of a guessing game with the retail 100. A little bit more of a muted layup. It worked in the 98, did not work quite as well in the 100. So in the 100 Pro Stock, we preferred over the 100 retail, but the 98 retail we preferred over the 98 Pro Stock. Does not mean it's the same for everyone. This is our personal opinions here, but that's the strong feelings we had from this play test. The 100 is a little bit more easy to control on the Pro Stock because it's like more demanding, but has better control. While in the retail, it's a little bit less connected. The SI3D layup, which I don't think is in the Pro Stocks, makes the racket a little bit hard to understand what's going on, where the ball is going. But in 98, it's not much of a problem. It's more of an addition to making the racket more playable and easy to use. So pretty strong opinions comparing these two so far. So there's some differences. They're not huge, but there are some, I guess. Yeah.
And I mean, I've been playing with 100, and I have been praising 100 hitting area or hitting surface for
so
a long time.
Yeah. Except, I mean, you had a period where you were playing really well with the Aero 98. Like myself, I also had an Aero 98. I think a lot of players had this period of like Aero 98 is the best racket ever. But then you get a bit tired. You have to really rip every ball with that racket. Yeah. And then we both agree that like maybe 100 with some control is the optimal, whether that's a speed or a P100, for example.
But with this one, it feels the comfort. The level of easiness to use is like 100.
And you get a lot of depth with it. Like the depth is definitely a lot easier to play than the blade. Yeah. The blade, you feel like if you're not exact with your stroke, you're gonna get pretty punished. Like, I mean, you're gonna hit a lot of on the tape, like with the 1820, the 1619. Okay, a little bit more, but this one feels like it's a bit easier of a racket.
It is. It's the sweet spot is very big, impressively big for such a advanced level racket.
And it works with slices as well, so it's not like you don't have to hit every ball topspin.
No.
And the Wilson grip, kind of interesting for us. We ended up preferring L2 over L3 because the grips feel quite chunky, and the grip shape feels a little bit different on the retail and the Pro Stocks I have. Not sure what's going on there, to be honest.
The Pro Stock version feels like a bit more squared, like a Dunlop or a Head TK.
It's a chunkier grip, right, for sure.
The Grip 2 version feels a bit more like, not Head TK82, but a little bit more rectangular.
Yeah, the retail one.
And I really love this Grip 2. I mean, I started out with the Grip 4. I could even use Grip 5 in the past. Then I went to Grip 4, then every test racket was Grip 3, so I used Grip 3 for a long time, and now Grip 2 feels like excellent, even if I have pretty big hands. So,
but even like Rafa played L2, and I think what you're getting with a thicker grip is you're getting more stability, more easy plow through. Your grip is not going to change as much, but you're not getting this whip that you can actually rip around. And that's probably why Rafa was like L2 guy, because he could like really rip around. You can use the wrist a lot more when it's freed up with the L2. Yeah. So I think we both preferred L2 here. I usually prefer L3, especially on Wilsons, but
yeah, me too.
Felt pretty good on this one.
Yeah. So maybe we are Grip 2 guys.
Maybe. We'll see where it takes us. But still excellent rackets. We still like both of these, but the P98, the retail, now called Defyer. Really nice racket. Definitely a must try, I would say, for most people. And I think you should not be too obsessed with this cosmetic or Pro Stock. It's very nice. I don't know like why people have so much against a red racket. I think it's when you see the details and the decals and everything, it's actually quite impressive, quite nice.
Yeah, it looks nice and it's glossy, and when you hold it in your hand, it feels. I really like it. I really like the design, and I have nothing bad to say about this racket.
You're a Python convert. This is now your racket. You played Prestige before?
Yes, so I think a little bit more pop, a little bit more spin, definitely. But yeah, I think it's a good fit for the modern game. So
Yeah, for sure. You're hitting well with it. And you can notice when you were playing with Henrik's very light Defyer, and you're playing with your super heavy Pro Stock, that your swing is made more for that spec.
absolutely.
You have a big swing. It's like you need to time the ball.
You were
Slow
shanking the ball with this slight reverse.
It was too fast for you. You're swinging too fast. Yeah.
And for me as a slow, fast amateur, this one is much better. So.
Henrik is always angry with himself. Nice sitting with you guys. Great day here. And we deserve a beer afterwards, I think. At least
We deserve 2 actually.
Maybe. Not the most forgiving racket on the market, of course, as a 98, but for a 98, pretty forgiving, and more than the Extreme Pro, I would say, which is more difficult racket to play with. And so well done. We like it. Playing with that one, the retail one feels easier than the Pro Stock. Let us know which one you prefer in the comments. And if you have more questions, we're going to try to tackle them in more of a podcast style. We're going to have some time together, me and Henrik, to answer your questions over the last few days as we're going to the Swedish Open. The 98 Pro, strung with Revolve from Wilson. Okay, boys, we're like the Defyer crew, or the Python crew, whatever you want to call it. Willie with his heavy Pro Stock. Henrik is playing a stock 100 today, because the 98, the strings went dead. But we have some questions from viewers from Tennis Nerd. So one question, I'm gonna throw them around. How does this racket, the P98 Pro, compare to the Aero 98 2023, which is down here? So it could be interesting. What do you think, Willie?
from my perspective, a lot more controlled, a tad bit more spin actually, and not the same push on the ball, so it doesn't fly as much. Good racket for the ones that want to hit through. I think the Aero tends to fly a little bit if you don't have fantastic racket head speed, which Alcaraz has, but I think for me it's a given choice with a Python, but it's 2 good rackets.
Good reply. And actually the second question was here about elbow issues from this racket, the Aero 98. Would you say that this has more comfort, the Defyer?
The Defyer is more muted, more dampened than the Aero. The Aero is more like raw in the feel, more direct. You feel the ball a little bit better. This is more plush, more muted, well dampened. I mean, we have been playing, maybe this is the 4th day in a row. We're playing 2 hours straight with pretty hard balls, and no arm issues whatsoever in the elbows or wrists or anything. So I must say it's a very well dampened racket. The Python is more, a little bit stiffer, a little bit smaller sweet spot, more raw.
The
More
Pro
like,
Stock, I mean,
yeah, the Pro Stock, yeah. And the Defyer is more muted. It's more plush and very easy on the arm. Both 98 and 100.
Good. And I have one more question here from, I have a million questions, but there was one actually where it's pretty relevant for you, Willie. You play a foam-filled racket, and you've tried a lot of the different Pro Stocks.
Absolutely.
But you like the foam. Why do you like the foam-filled ones?
It's a different feel, I think. More plush, as Henrik says, but I would say the plow-through is better as well with the foam. The weight is actually the same on the ones I tried, the foam-filled and the hollow one, but I feel for me it's a better choice with the foam.
Tough to find though. Maybe Holy Tennis can have some.
Maybe.
And then this is a question that is quite interesting, which we can discuss. Needing to add weight to the Pro after 2 years of testing is such mismanagement. Do you think that, like, you can play the 98 stock? Do you think it's bad that you have to customize the 98? Or is that like something you have to, if it's an advanced player racket, you kind of have to expect customization to happen? What's your opinion?
I really like that you need to customize it, because, for example, when they were selling the Blade Pro, I think strung swing weight is like 340-ish. You cannot do anything. Okay, you can put some lead or silicone down here to have the balance a little bit more headlight, but let's say that they had made the Defyer 98 Pro in maybe 335 strung swing weight. Then you remove a little bit of the thought behind it. They want a fast racket that moves fast through the air. I mean, most advanced players today, they do some kind of tweak, some kind of adjustment, some kind of customization, even on like amateur level. So I would say For me, it's a no-brainer that they are making a racket that is lighter, like that needs a little bit of lead, because almost every player does some kind of tweak. And I mean, if you want a heavier weight, a little bit heavier, it's like 2 grams up here, and then you have a swing weight of 325. Everyone can do that. Everyone can place a little bit of lead here, or have like a 130 string instead of 125, for example. That also adds a couple of units in swing weight. So I think it's really good that they are making the Pro light in swing weight, so it's easy to customize. So I think it's a really good decision by Wilson.
And it's a P98 Pro for a reason, right? So I think it suits maybe a little bit more advanced players, I would say. And it leaves room for the ones that wants more plow through. It's a racket that fits better, I think, with a little bit more weight than as compared to the Arrow. So I think they did a good choice there.
How does the control compare to the Blade 98, if you would say? Because that's kind of where usually they want people to go, transition if they want more lift.
I think it's rather similar in the control aspect, actually. It's a rather similar racket as well, as a whole, but it gives more spin to the ball. It's a huge difference in spin, and that makes it a different racket, I would say. But aside from that, it's quite similar in the feel. I think the retail version is a little bit different. It's a little bit more direct. Otherwise, a rather similar racket.
Blade Pro 100 or Blade 100 versus the 100 Defyer. What's the differences there, you think? From like, let's say a Blade 100, because that's kind of an interesting comparison.
I used the Blade 100 for a while, version 8, I think. The Defyer is more muted, more like a little bit of the Clash feel, a little bit more of the Ultra feel. Easier to use, bigger sweet spot, more solid. The Blade 100 is, I would say it's a little bit more control in the Blade 100. It doesn't swing as fast as the Defyer. You get more effect of the ball on the Defyer with the 100. The Blade 100 Pro I liked in the beginning, but it was too muted. I could not feel the ball, and the tension dropped very fast in that racket. Even with pre-stretch, the tension lost. Like after 30 minutes, the tension, it was like a trampoline. Mm-hmm. I would say the Defyer tops both 100 and 100 Pro in almost each and every category, maybe except for control from the regular Blade 100. But I have not tried the Blade 100 version 10 though. Only 7, 8 and 9.
Well, okay, I have one more question. I've checked on all the comments. They're quite negative, some of them. Oh. And one of the most negative things is the color. The name is not the best maybe, but the color. So you play with the black one. Do you think the red one looks okay, or do you think it's like it's a thing for you, Willie? Would you play with that, or are you a picky guy like some people we know?
I'm not gonna play with it, but to be honest, I think for the ones that can play with the red racket, it actually looks good in real life. I prefer, of course, the prototype and the black one, but it's not a bad looking racket. It got a lot of critique. I think it doesn't deserve that much.
I agree. I think if I'm reading through these comments, it's pretty insane. Like some people are like, I would never play with this, and the name and people. You are lying that it looks good. I got a few like people calling me and Henrik liars because we think something looks good, but we actually think it looks good. So
yeah. And I mean, this looks like not the IG, the Prestige 360 Plus. It has similar colors as that one. And so the Prestige 360 Plus, it was red and this burgundy type of color. Yeah. And I like that one a lot, and it didn't have that much criticism. Yeah. And the V-Core, it doesn't have so much criticism as well. So I wonder if people who say that this looks bad has hold it in their hand, because it's gloss, it looks good. I don't see any flaws with this design whatsoever. It's like a red, good-looking racket. So the taste is like we call in Sweden. The taste is like the bottom.
Yeah, split in half.
Split in half.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, this is kind of not split in half. No. I think it's the problem for Wilson in this case was that they released a racket that people fell in love with visually, and then when it didn't look like that one, people get like, because everybody wants black rackets. Not everyone, but a lot of people want black rackets. And then, I mean, you have only blacked out, but they had one which they were like this kind of a spider web, and it was kind of cool looking. So I think that's maybe the problem, like that they. But it still looks good, in my opinion.
It would be interesting if I mean, Wilson is pretty good on doing special editions.
Yeah.
So maybe they will do a black edition and see how it sells compared to the red one.
Can always do that.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if Wilson are listening to the criticism. And I mean, if they are losing buyers because of the colors, they will of course listen. And they will maybe. I have no idea if they will do it, but maybe they will do like a night edition or something.
I mean, if they change out the light red there and keep the burgundy, if they change out the light red to black, that would be a phenomenal looking racket as well if they want to make a special edition. So.
And otherwise you can get some Pro Stocks at Holy Tennis, but they're going to be a bit more expensive than the retail.
Bit more expensive. But they get great service though from this guy. He's fast and
hopefully.
And it's also good players, so they can trust that the rackets will be from good hands.
Like you and me, we are like amateur players. Billy is like a former D2 college player.
I think he plays better, more like D1.
More like the D1, yes, of course. And also been playing against future guys and the highest level of tennis in Sweden. And for us to be able to play with such a good guy, good player, it's really motivating for our tennis.
And you're playing a tournament soon, so for you it's great warm-up.
Nice to have such a great hitting partner. Even if you are good, Billy is a little bit better.
Fuck you, Henrik, okay?
It's good.
Thanks, guys.
Good tennis day.
So I hope that answered some of your questions, which one to get. Let me know. Have a nice day and
Don't forget to play some tennis.